Okay, everybody, now that we've talked about factoring by grouping, let's talk about factoring using the box method. Now, again, every factoring method has a corresponding multiplication method. So I'm going to show you how the box works when you're multiplying, and then show you how it works when you're factoring. So we are multiplying a two-term polynomial, a binomial, times another binomial. So I'm going to make basically a box that has two columns and two rows. Kind of like a Punnett square in science. And above each of the columns, I'm going to write one of the terms from one of the binomials. And in front of each of the two rows, I'm going to write one of the terms from the other binomial. Now, the box method works that wherever you have a cell, the two things that meet in that cell, you multiply together and place the result there. So 2x times 4x is 8x squared. 3 times 4x is 12x. 2x times negative 5 is negative 10x. Negative 5 times 3 is negative 15. So then these are the terms that I need to combine. So I've got 8x squared, and then these two terms are alike. So that would give me plus 2x. And then this is negative 15. So you see this is really like foiling, except it's more visual. The first terms ended up in this box. The outer terms ended up in this one. The inner terms ended up in this one. And the last terms ended up in this. All right, so I'm going to show you how to factor using the box. And it's going to follow the same first steps that the grouping method did. So first of all, we would multiply the first coefficient times the last. That would give me negative 24. And then we're looking for two numbers that add to give me negative 5. Now in the last video, we learned that those two numbers are negative 8 and positive 3. Now when grouping, we rewrote this middle term, the negative 5x, as negative 8x and positive 3x. So using these two numbers, we're going to do the same thing here, but this time, we're going to use a box. Now, in the box, the quadratic term always goes in the upper left. And the constant term always goes in the lower right. And then in the upper right and the bottom left, in either order, we're going to write two x terms, two linear terms, using these two numbers that we found. So let's see, that would be negative 8x and 3x. And again, I could write that in either spot. Negative 8x could go in the bottom left if I wanted to. So now, essentially what we're going to do, let me clear those arrows out so we have some space here. When we were multiplying with the box, we took the two things and multiplied them and stuck them in the box. This time we're looking for things that we can pull out. So things that went into multiplying to those things. So here's how this is going to work. I'm going to look at the first column, 3x and 3x squared, and I look for the greatest common factor between those two terms. So I see that 3 goes into both of them and x goes into both of them. So I'm going to write 3x above that column. And then I can sort of think my way through the rest of the box. So let's see. 3x times what gives me x squared? That's right, it's x. So x is going to go here. And then x times what is going to give me negative 8x? Well, negative 8. So that would go there, because that's where those two meet in the box, right? And then I have a negative 8 here and a negative 8 here. So this needed to be a 1. And then 3x times 1 gives me 3x. So that box works out. So the two factors I have are 3x minus 8 and x. And I should have pulled out a positive one here, so that should be a plus 1. So x plus 1. So you can see this is actually a lot like grouping in that we're writing those four terms, we're pulling common factors out. I just think the box is a little more visual, so I like to use it a little bit more.